Hey gang, welcome back. Last week I told you about Comet Atlas that was orbiting the sun and going to put on a show. Turns out it kind of broke apart. Comets are rocky snowballs, and when they get close to the sun's energy vaporizes them, and sometimes the ice that's holding them together vaporizes and they fall apart. So now we have this stream of debris, and it may put on a show, it may not. There's another comet coming called Comet Swan, but tonight I want to talk about a different one, a comet that actually went by about 150 years ago, a comet called C1861, also called Comet Thatcher because a person named A.E. Thatcher discovered it in 1861. Why that's important is because, well, first of all, comets don't orbit in the same plane as the planets. The planets are all, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, and they all kind of go around in the same plane. So when they cross the sky, it's always in the same path. Comets don't orbit in that plane of the ecliptic. Instead, they go way up here, and then they come down and go back up. Hey, Cass, want to be in the movies? When Comet Thatcher went by and the sun's energy vaporized parts of it, it left a stream of debris, kind of a trail of debris, a track around the sun. And this week, it just so happens, in our annual trip around the sun, in our revolution around the sun, we pass through that stream of debris. It's called the Lyrid meteor shower. Because of the way the Earth is moving and where the stars are in the background, they look like they come out of the constellation Lyra. Really has nothing to do with the stars in the constellation Lyra, but they appear to, if you trace the track of all of the shooting stars, they would go back to Lyra. And tonight, when we enter that stream of debris, and the peak is actually Wednesday morning, you might see up to one every 5 minutes if you're in a dark sky location. If your skies aren't that dark, you're not going to see as many. Occasionally there might be a fireball where there's a bigger chunk. Most of the chunks are like grain of sand size, and yet we can still see them because the way they compact the air in front and a low pressure air behind it, and it ionizes and makes the air glow. It's more than just you hear it said that they're burning up in the atmosphere. There's more to it than that, but that's fine for now if you just think of them burning up in the atmosphere. But sometimes there's bigger chunks, and they may have what's called a fireball, where they streak, and then you might even see it break into pieces. Sometimes they leave a trail behind that lasts for a couple of seconds, and that's all kind of cool. So this week I want you to get outside. The best viewing is after midnight, and I realize that's not possible for many people. If you want to get up early before the sun rises, there's good viewing then. But even as soon as it gets dark, give it a shot. Go outside. The longer you spend out there, the better of a chance you get to see it. Remember, it takes your eyes 10 or 15 minutes just to adjust and to see the really dark things. I think on Tuesday, I'm gonna put together a Zoom meeting. I don't know if you're familiar with that. It's an app or a website, I guess, that you can meet with people and talk to each other, and you can see their screens and stuff like that. And I'll send you a link for that on Tuesday night, if it's clear, like maybe like 10 o'clock at night. So maybe at 9:45 I'll send you a link where you can just click on that and join the class. And I realize a lot of people aren't going to have the ability to do that, but we're going to try it and see how it works. I'm kind of curious on whether that technology is of any use for us. So expect some more details on that tomorrow. Back to the Lyrid meteor shower. Like I said, it peaks on Wednesday. You'll see some as the Earth gets in, the cloud is, or the stream of debris is fairly wide, so over like a 4 or 5 day period you'll see shooting stars. Now, any night you could see a shooting star. There's lots of debris left in the solar system for the Earth to run into. Just on a meteor shower night, there's more stuff out there, so your odds of seeing something are increased. And there's several times in August. There's a meteor shower called the Perseids. In November, there's a couple. In October, there's one. In January is the Quadrantids. Because the Earth's rotation or Earth's revolution around the sun is predictable, we know where we're going to be on next April 20th. We know where we're going to be, and we know where that cloud is, or that stream of debris is, and so we know we're going to cross that path every year. The Chinese actually have, there's documentation in the Chinese writings where they saw this Lyrid meteor shower 2,700 years ago, like 600, 700 BC. So this comet has been around the block a couple of times. And this is a weird comet, actually. Comet Thatcher is not a typical comet. Typical comets are a couple miles wide, maybe, usually less than that. This one is like a couple thousand miles, like the size of the eastern United States. That's maybe a third the size of the moon. So this is a big chunk of rock that comes by every 420 years or so. So this week, whenever you get a chance, get outside and let your eyes adjust and look for a shooting star. Now, we watched for satellites. Satellites move about this fast across the sky. Shooting stars, meteors, are much faster. And I should go back. They're called meteoroids when they're out in space. They're called meteors when they're shooting across the atmosphere and glowing. And if anything is left behind to hit the surface, it's called a meteorite. But anyway, they move really fast across the sky. It's gonna be like a fraction of a second. In fact, if you're looking in the wrong direction, somebody's gonna say, "There goes one," and by the time you turn around, it's gone. And make sure you go out with friends. Well, no, not in this situation, but make sure your family members aren't pulling your leg, because they may say, there was one, and every time you turn your back, they say, there was one. Don't fall for that. They're pulling your leg. Anyway, this week, get outside either early in the morning or whenever you can, and describe what you see, how many you see. Keep an eye out for Venus. Venus is going to be showing up pretty quick. It's really bright in the sky right now. And in the discussion, put down everything else you see. Remember to tell me what time you went out, how long you went out, what day you went out, and what you went out, or what you saw when you were out there. And if you see satellites, let me know. If you see stars, UFOs, whatever, put it in the discussion. As much information as you can. Have a good day.